There's a little tight one for you.
It's okay. This is a big thing for you.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, Susan said she went to play the nobody. Yeah, we don't want to take this on the well, we caught the song right, huh?
Yeah.
She's come down faster than she went up.
Yeah.
All right, look at that. All right, you did it, Katie, you did it.
Yeah, fart
Right?
jokes. Yeah, like
Burping, all of it.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
So yeah, how did you pick Boone as being part of the name?
I've never been asked that way either. That's so good. How did you pick Boone as being part of the name? Well, Boone is the name of my partner when we started the agency. His name was John Boone. That's still his name, actually. John was an art, or he still is an art director, and I'm a writer. So we worked together at a couple of agencies, and we decided to break off and start our own agency. And we did, great work together as a creative team. And about 10 or 12 years ago, he decided that he didn't really want to run an agency to deal with like managing people, that sort of thing. And he really just wanted to be more of an art director and concentrate on that. So we decided to part ways, and I just kept the name, just why change the name. So that's why. Plus I like our logo because it's like, Boone is right side up, Oakley's upside down. And I was like, I kind of like that. So I kept it.
Yeah. It's very like smooth. It sounds smooth to me.
BooneOakley.
Yeah.
We had a whole debate about whether it should be called Oakley Boone or BooneOakley. And we designed the logo so that it could be either way. Like if you flipped it, Oakley's right side up and Boone's upside down. But it's a long story about how John is just a brilliant creative guy. He's like amazing. He really is. He's really good. But he really wanted Boone to come first. And actually, I'll admit it sounds better, BooneOakley. But we had an online contest when we started the agency where you could go on and vote whether it should be Oakley Boone or BooneOakley, and we're going to, whatever our audience voted for, we're going to let that be the name. So after about we had the voting for like a month, and after like 3 and a half weeks, I think it was like the votes were like 47 to 44. Boone was winning. I mean, we didn't have a lot of fans, it was really close, it was close. But then like right before it ended, Boone took this big lead. He went from having like 40 some votes to having like 3,000 votes. And I still had like 100. So it's like 3,000 to 100 BooneOakley. So we said, okay, it's going to be BooneOakley wherever it is. That's the way it is. Okay. And I found out like a year or two later that actually his brother had gone in and manipulated the votes and made it.
No.
So, it was really disappointing, but I have to tell you, I gave him so many props because I thought that was awesome that he did that. It was funny. It was good. I mean, he may have got it. He may have got his name first, but my name will always be upside down, which is actually better.
Yeah. What's up? So it all worked out, right?
Yeah. It worked out great.
Okay. So obviously, I did some research and found that like basically I don't know if it was the actual first campaign or first marketing thing, or it just was the one that is the most memorable, was the Bush Gore.
Yeah.
Can you tell listeners about that?
Hello, listeners. Let me tell you about the Bush Gore billboard. And, we talked about billboards before. I love outdoor advertising because I think it's the most pure form of advertising. I think it's the most simple form, and I think it's the hardest to do well. Because it's just one board, you're driving by at 60 miles an hour, and you have to have something that catches an attention really, really fast. And there are all these rules for it. It has to be like less than 8 words on a billboard. when you're driving around today, look and notice billboards, and there'll be billboards with 40 words on them, and there's no way you know what it's for, and it's just a waste of money. Anyway, we started BooneOakley for our first client, and we put a billboard out on 485 in South Charlotte, and it was 2 weeks before the 2000 presidential election, and the billboard had a picture of Governor Bush, and it said Gore 2000. So it went up, and it was looked like a Gore campaign billboard, but George Bush's picture was on it. And within an hour, we got our first call, and it was actually from Fox News. And they're like, and I'm like, we hadn't even started the agency. I just gave Adams Outdoor Advertising, who put the billboard up. I gave, if they have any calls from any press, I said, just send them to my cell phone. So I got a call on my cell phone. So I would open it and just go BooneOakley, and they were like, could I speak with David Oakley, please? Hold on, please hold. And I would just do that whole hi, it's David. This is Bill Smith from Fox News. I'm calling about the billboard. I'm like, what billboard? And the billboard that's up in Charlotte that has a picture of George Bush. It's Gore 2000. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, it says Gore 2000. It's a picture of George Bush. I'm like, are you sure about that? And he goes, yes, we are sure about that. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, he's like, this is, did you do this billboard? I'm like, yeah, we did do the billboard. Yeah. He goes, well, this is the biggest presidential campaign mistake in the history of US politics. I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, I'm like, you're not going to really write anything about this, are you? You're not going to really say, yes, we are. We're going to put it up as a story. So and I said, here's how you spell BooneOakley, BooneOakley. Here's our name. This is my name, blah, 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 blah. By in the next couple of hours, we got calls from CNN, Washington Post, New York Times, the Associated Press. Everyone was calling about it. And all I was saying was that it was a mix up. We just started our agency. We'll get it replaced by Monday. We can't get it taken down this afternoon because all the outdoor workers have gone home for the weekend. We'll get it fixed over the weekend. So by 6 o'clock that night, it was the lead story on CNN.com. It just said ad agency Bungle's campaign billboard, and had the picture of it. And it basically talked about how dumb these people were in North Carolina who didn't know the difference between the candidates. So basically, we just had to act stupid all weekend, which we did. It was really kind of came natural for us. We were just like, okay, yeah, we messed up. On Monday, on Monday at 11 o'clock, we put I guess in the morning, I should say, about 8:30 in the morning, we sent this is how long ago it was. It was 20 years ago, which is kind of crazy. We sent a fax to the local NBC station. I can't remember what it was, and basically said, we will be fixing the billboard at 11 o'clock this morning, just whatever. So at 11 o'clock, there was a freaking helicopter, a news helicopter above the billboard, filming while we put a sniper across the billboard. And the snipe said, today's job opening, proofreader, 123hire.com, which 123hire was our first client. So they filmed that going up, and it got international press coverage again. 123hire was a job listing site that competed with monster.com and Career Builder at the time. So they got tons of publicity. The Wall Street Journal wrote about it 2 days later about how this was such a great idea. What the best thing for BooneOakley about it was a great way to start. It showed that we were not afraid to do anything. Fear is not part of our DNA. But where it really paid off for us was the president of Continental Tire North America drove by that billboard on the way to Continental every day. And they were in the midst of a full-on agency search for their entire business. And he went to the marketing director and said, find out who did this billboard. We need to get those guys in for the pitch. And we ended up pitching Continental Tire and won our first big piece of business because of that billboard. So that was a long story, but that's what happened. It was crazy.
That's amazing. It's almost just what is it like to I guess you're kind of like, obviously, it sounds, or even going back to like the prank phone calls, you're kind of like a prankster, but obviously in the best way ever, correct?
Yeah, I guess I am kind of a prankster. Yeah, that's yeah, I guess that's kind of yeah, that's Katie, that's yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Very cool. So obviously, yeah, I just think that's amazing. I should think about, saying something to the effect for my show, like, don't listen to me. Don't listen to the Katie
Yeah.
Black Show.
Really, really.
That's, well, it gives me that thing of like just like messing with people's mind and like, yeah, just being opposite of the message that like the normal advertiser might want to say, just to, I don't know, I just think it's amazing. I think it's brilliant, by the way.
Well, you have to do something different if you want to get noticed. You can't
Right.
do the same thing everyone else is doing. I mean, this is an old adage, but it's like when everyone zigs, you got to zag. You got to do something different.
Thank you, Katie Black. You're amazing. Thank you,
I
love.
love your energy.
Yes,
I
great
do.
energy.
I love it.
What up?